Welcome to the Conservation Learning Center's 2021 Virtual Field Day. We are once again releasing a series of videos showcasing our demonstrations and research projects here at the CLC. Thank you to our sponsors, the Saskatchewan Wheat Development Commission and the Saskatchewan Flax Development Commission. And a big thank you to all of our funders who support research here at the CLC. We have 2 organic cover cropping trials this year at the CLC. We wanted to showcase cover crop options in the region to suppress weeds and reduce tillage in organic production systems. For one of the trials, we are looking at different types of cover crops at different seeding dates that will naturally terminate in the winter. And for the other project, we are comparing the effectiveness of using a roller crimper versus swathing versus simply working in the cover crop. These trials are 2-year projects that are funded by the ADOPT program that is made possible through the Canadian Agricultural Partnership. Today we have Dunling Wang and Garth Badome with us to discuss these trials. Dunling is the Provincial Specialist in Alternative Cropping Systems at the Saskatchewan Ministry of Agriculture, and Garth is a local organic producer that the CLC has been working with to conduct these trials.
My name is Garth Badome, and I farm organically next to the Conservation Learning Center. And I feel very fortunate that they would consider a collaboration on a project to look at cover crops and their benefits in organic production. Projects like this allow producers to trial a variety of different cropping options that they just would not have the resources, time, or expertise to complete. The staff at the Conservation Learning Center follow strict protocols that produce consistent results, so we can know that the results can be depended upon. Some of the benefits that comes for the producers from this trial would be that it would accelerates the research process, which provides some very useful information more quickly. It helps make decisions like what varieties are best to grow, what species you might consider in a mix. It also helps to quantify economic and environmental benefits so that as producers we can make better decisions. I wanted to speak a little bit about my perspective on cover crops and I guess why they're important and some of the benefits that I see. Really, we're trying to, as best we can, mimic Mother Nature by keeping the soil covered, by minimizing soil disturbance, keeping living roots in the soil, and providing a healthy environment for bacteria and fungi, worms, etc. So how does that benefit a producer? Well, for me at least, it looks for weed suppression, increasing organic matter, improving soil fertility by digging up nutrients that are down deep and bringing them up, and erosion control. In this area at least, we experience a few problems with cover crops, and this helps us to resolve them. One is a short growing season. 2 is either not enough moisture or in some cases too much moisture, but this year especially not enough, and sometimes late harvest. So by working with the Conservation Learning Center, I get more research specific to our area and get to see the results from those trials. One other project that we have collaborated with this year is we've entered into a trial of a cover crop that will be terminated by a variety of methods, but one of the methods will be by the use of a roller crimper. This method appears to work well in more southern areas, but may not in this region. And this will allow us to find out if it will work here and what some of the benefits or problems might be. So hopefully we can get a better idea of how and if a roller crimper might fit into our future plans.
This demonstration would show the multiple species of cover crops compared to the mono species. And mono-species cover crop are often grown by producers. Like conventional producers grow a cereal, and organic producers grow one particular legume. In general, cover crop cocktails, that means mix all this type of seeds together would do a better work in producing biomass and fixed nitrogen. Altogether, they would be able to prime the soil microbiology, and which in many cases would be able to release the phosphorus from those kind of non-available phosphorus sources, and which is important to some organic producers because the soil is short of phosphorus. There are three categories of crops that can be used for cover crops. Cereal grass, which with fibrous roots, the legume, nitrogen fixer, and a brassica, which can reduce the risk of disease and pests. To ensure effective nitrogen fixation in the cover crop season to supply the nitrogen for the next crop, it's important to have legume. Based on the research done by University of Manitoba, the legume ratio to other non-legumes should be over 50%. One simple way for producers to do is to seed the legume crop at a suggested rate, and then mix up with 1/4 to 50% of the suggested cereal crops. Include some brassica that will be able to reduce the pest and the disease risk. For the cover crop to suppress weeds, there are two conditions. The first is you need to select a very competitive crops that would grow well. And normally producers should select those crops they grow in their area. The second requirement is this crops has to produce enough biomass to compete with the weeds. The seeding rate is also important. For organic system, the multiple species combination seeding rate should be 1.5 to 2 times of the recommended seeding rate of the conventional monocrops. The other project, we are testing the termination methods. The new methodology to terminate the cover crop is called roller crimper, and has been used in the southern part of the province popularly. And what it works, they have this kind of roller and got this kind of metal edge saw to it. And when it's rolled, it basically cut the cover crop. During the flowering time, the crop will be seriously damaged, there will be die. The residue will stay on the top of the soil. During winter time, they would be able to retain moisture and suppress the weeds. And you could also directly seed into this biomass mat in springtime. This is a new kind of prototype that, doing this kind of demonstration on the organic field, and use organic techniques. And I was also appreciate that Brooke invite me to this site and to talk to you guys.